let's talk defense, man, because these guys, listen, as bad as they played in week one and this was some of the struggles they had during the course of this season, this team played really well. Now, they gave up 346 yards of offense, and you go, well, yeah, a lot of that's garbage offense. Okay, but these guys did three things that we need to focus on that were just really, really special for this game. One, that first goal line stand was fantastic. That was a big deal. We have some clips on it. Two, the coverage adjustment that they made. And yeah, Jair Alexander's going to get all the credit, and he deserves a ton of credit because, listen, you got to be a special kind of player to be able to go out there and make statements in the media and talk the talk and go out and deliver. Okay, but the coverage they had where he's playing outside leverage and they're bracketing him, they're bracketing and driving on Jefferson with the near safety or the far safety on all of these plays. It was a masterful job by Joe Barry and company of designing a defense and just saying, we don't care if anybody else beats us. We think the rest of our guys, just here's what they said. Hawkinson can beat our linebackers underneath. I think he had 7 catches for 59 yards. Way to go. Okay, Thielen had 1 catch. We're just saying Rasul Douglas can cover Thielen all day. Savage can cover Thielen all day. We're not concerned about him, especially with the field conditions, especially with the problems they're having up front, especially with all the things that go into manufacturing drives in Green Bay and Lambeau Field in January. Justin Jefferson is not going to beat us. He obviously had some footing issues, but he had some. Listen, we've all been in this situation, right? Like I was a good basketball player in high school, and I remember we went into a game versus a team in Arizona, and this team just decided I wasn't going to score. And about 5 minutes into the game, when things are going well and you're the best player, and all of a sudden you're not scoring, you're not getting the ball, you get frustrated, you get angry, you get down, you're trying to figure out other ways to help the team. But really, when you're in a situation like Justin Jefferson, you're literally going for the record receiving yards in a season. And then all of a sudden, this guy's talked all week and you're not getting the ball and they're not getting you good opportunities. And then you're slipping and falling on the ground. I mean, I got to change my shoes. Your head's not in the right spot. So credit where credit is due. He did a fantastic job, but let's check some of this stuff out. They set the tone early. And I was amazed at their ability to communicate pre-snap, okay? Because what happened here is they took away the post-snap communication. They took away the need for post-snap communication. This play early in the game describes everything that you need to know about the Packers defense and how they attack the Minnesota Vikings. These are the concepts. One, he's in the slot. Jair Alexander's against Justin Jefferson, but we have a safety who is literally going to turn his body inside out and point at Justin Jefferson and drive on him when he goes inside. So what does that mean? That means Jair Alexander knows that he has inside help. If this guy goes across the field, we have somebody covering him now. He's not going to have to chase him across the field. We don't have a safety playing with his chest to the end zone that has to pivot and drive on this guy. He is closing the space. He is closing the angle. And when Justin Jefferson turns, there's a guy facing him. There's not a guy trying to drive on him or catch up to him. There's a guy facing him. That is a big deal. That was the difference in this game. That's the first thing. So let's just watch this from Jefferson's point of view. He is sitting here, and I think that's Rudy Ford is just staring at him. So Jair Alexander, if he wants to go high, Alexander can run with anybody. But if you want to break inside right now, you got nowhere to go. And we got great coverage by Rasul Douglas down here on Thielen. Great coverage all over. KJ Osborne's covered. Everybody's covered. But Jefferson has nowhere. But that is the route. They're running the dig. The dig is one of the hardest routes in the National Football League to cover, period. You ask any offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator, man, what is like the hardest route to cover? A really well-run dig route is impossible to cover unless you do this. And they did it all day, and they killed him because that's how we got killed last time. Now, just as important, if not more so, Kenny Clark early in the game, Jaron Reed, Hollins, winning at the line of scrimmage. Obviously, Preston Smith, winning early. Beating this not very good right guard. putting himself in a situation where the guy who just doesn't move is a statue, all of a sudden has to feel this pressure late. And now you see Rasul Douglas here. I mean, that's textbook. That is absolutely textbook on how you wipe away a ball that's coming in. No PI, great coverage, fantastic job. That one play is everything we wanted to see from the Green Bay Packers against the Minnesota Vikings. Fantastic. You see this goal line stand. First things first, got a rookie, Wyatt, and then obviously Preston's coming down hard. Listen what, look, I think this is O'Neal, their tackle, whiffs completely. We get down and smash through this gap, and then, which Wyatt does, takes care of this tight end, puts him all the way down in the A gap, and allows Preston Smith, listen, phenomenal job over here, but where's the space? The space is in the right side B gap. It was a phenomenal job on the left side of the screen, but these two guys come in, and then Preston just breaks some backs right here. You see everybody just folding the wrong way because he comes down and does such a great job. But let's watch Wyatt first. Swims the tackle and then just throws the tight end all the way down. So all of a sudden, if you want to cut back, there's nowhere to go. It's a fantastic job all around. Now we got Slayton here. And then Amos. Amos had, I think, 8 tackles on the tackle for loss. Being the tackle. This guy had a game. This guy had an absolute day today. Just playing physical, setting the tone for the team, being a great team captain. So we see just defeating the third string. I don't care what string center you are. You're on the goal line in Lambeau Field in January, man. It's go time, and you just got tore up. Great job by Slayton there, making him redirect, and then you just see. I couldn't put a circle on Alexander, but he flies in out of nowhere and takes the legs out. You just see Amos coming in as well. It's big time, man. Big time play triggering, just making sure that guy's not moving. You know, that's a 3rd and goal right there. So they go 1st and goal. I think they go 2nd and goal pass, 3rd and goal run, and they kick that field goal. What happens? Nixon gets the ball 5 yards deep in the end zone. Next play, out the door. So that bracket coverage again here. Alexander. And you just see this safety is able to drive because he's turned and there's a difference between being pointed towards the line of scrimmage and being pointed towards the man. Now it has a different sensation. That man is now attacking me. That is a big deal. Kirk Cousins is seeing that and is immediately going away from it. And it just allows that safety to continue through again. The only way all of this works is if Rasul Douglas, if Darnell Savage, if our linebackers, if they do a good job in coverage. Because all you're really saying is, look, man, go the distance. You have a bad offensive line. You're going to get penalized on these false starts. Kirk Cousins is a statue. Your running game has been, you only run the ball 35% of the time. Justin Jefferson has 17 and 150 yards of receiving yardage. We just don't want you to beat us with him. Why am I showing this? Because this route, I didn't pull it up, and maybe I should have, but we've all seen this route before. We've all seen it from multiple teams. We've certainly seen it from the Minnesota Vikings. So they have a 2x2, and they bring the back out of the backfield here, and you're going to run a stick. You're going to run just a quick arrow out, and then you're going to run the dig. And you just see Rasul Douglas is literally just sitting on this route. I mean, does it in any way or shape or form, does he look like he's worried about getting run past here? Just sitting on the route. And when you're allowed to sit on drive on those kind of routes with that kind of coverage, you create turnovers. Savage does a great job making a couple people miss, getting downhill. KJ Osborne, friend of the show, by the way. Great effort here. Big fan of KJ. But that's big time, man. And then I think this is the next turnover. So we have Quay. Again, Man pointed right to. And this time Justin Jefferson falls down. But we have Quay Walker out there. This is one of the reasons you draft him as high as you do, because he can actually put hands on for a number of yards and have some success. Get our second pick. Then I think this is the third pick here. And this is the one I appreciate the most. So now they've moved Jefferson to inside on this 2x2 look. And I think this is Savage covering him. And you see Savage now has inside leverage, so he can't cut across his face. But you see the safety is now pointed outside, so he can, oh, did it again. So he can drive on him. Excuse me, guys. One more. So you see Savage has inside leverage. I think that's Ford is pointed towards the sideline. Now he's backpedaling. So he's playing to drive on the outside. We know he can't drive on the outside, or we know he can't go outside because there's a man right next to him. Play over the top. Not open. They try to go high side. Ford goes over and makes a great play. I mean, just a really good job from a schematic standpoint. Again, this is all pre-snap. They're already talking where they're locking, where their leverage is going to be, how they're going to play this before the ball snaps. So there's no communication errors, or there's no communication required to make these plays. There's no pass off, for example. Three picks yesterday. You know, you win that turnover battle 4-0. It's a big deal. One thing that was kind of surprising, this is one of the few times you bring down Amos in the box early, so J.R. Alexander has to back up. This is an opportunity to get that guy, Justin Jefferson, just get on a hitch pass, get him something early. They decided not to. Amos comes in here, makes another play at the line of scrimmage. Again, I just thought he had a really, really good game, just bringing the heat all day. I'll show a couple more of these brackets just because I think it's, you know, you have to understand kind of what's going on with this sport. And you can't necessarily do this against everyone. You can't do this all the time. But, man, it really confused the Minnesota Vikings. You see, he's just completely turned in. You look at the safety on the 50-yard line. And just there's double team. There's just bracket coverage. There's nobody else as far as they're concerned, there's nobody else on the field. And Amos with another violent tackle after catch. And this is to the point I'm making here is this is the one time in the entire game Alexander's expecting him to be facing into Jefferson. He's not. He's his chest pointed towards the quarterback. It's the only catch he makes in the entire game. He gets the route. They run it exactly how they're supposed to. Our guy, I think this is Amos, is just not turned in. He can't drive on him. He's backpedaling, gestures towards the quarterback, gets his 15 yards, and Alexander stops and looks at him and is telling him, hey, listen, that's not what we're running today. Great job by Jarran Reed here, penetrating, being physical at the line of scrimmage, taking care of this rookie right guard. This is what this is what you expect. They're running a little T. We have run stunts as well. So they run a T, an Egenbari, so a tackle up and underneath. We end up getting great penetration by the tackle. And Egenbari shows, so now if that's Dalvin Cook, he cannot come back underneath because we have the defensive end there. These are the kind of plays that just, if you're an offensive lineman, if you're an offensive coordinator, you're going, God, what else can happen? How did they know to run that right there? We talked about it. I showed 2 snaps at Darrisaw in our preview of getting beat because he's been getting beat. He's a very, very good tackle. He's a young player. He's going to be a good player. He's been getting beat lately for sacks. Last 2 weeks, now the last 3 weeks, he's getting beat for sacks. Hollins does a great job here, in my opinion. He's been a great find by the Green Bay Packers. Great sack. And then, of course, our guy, Kenny Clark. You know, this is what we call $1 million snap. This is $1 million snap. You win. You get the sack, fumble, and fumble recovery. You get the sack, the fumble caused, and the fumble recovery. You get 3 notches in your stat sheet. 3 notches is worth about $1 million for this guy. So whatever he was going to make next year, if he was redoing his contract, he could point to that play and go, you're just going to up that by $1 million. That's how important those plays are.